I want to talk about something a little different today. Sometimes I think I'm a bad mom. And honestly, some of the family might not like me putting this out there, but I feel like I need to. For myself and for every parent out there living through something similar. Sometimes I struggle and think I don't want to care anymore. I just want to not. And then immediately after thinking that, I feel horrible for even thinking it. Because they're my children. Even if they're adults now, they're still my children. And when your children struggle with mental illness, trauma, emotional instability, or chaos, sometimes it feels like you never really stop being on call, no matter how old they get. And I think people assume parents somehow become superhuman through all of this, but they don't. We don't. I have my own struggles too, especially now that I'm getting older, dealing with my own health issues, my own demons, exhaustion, my own emotional limits. And sometimes I sit here and thinking, why am I carrying all of this still? But then another part of me answers, because you chose them, and I really did. I chose this. I adopted children knowing mental illness was part of the picture. I chose the chaos. I chose the hard days. I chose to keep loving them through the struggles. I chose to keep answering the phone or the text. I chose to keep showing up. And then I feel guilty for the moments where I don't want to anymore, especially when they need me the most. Because sometimes I'm overwhelmed too, really overwhelmed. So people talk about parenting little kids all the time. They don't talk enough about parenting adult children, though, especially adult children with mental health struggles, because sometimes it never really ends. You're still the emergency contact, still the safe place, still the crisis manager, still the emotional shock absorber. And when things spiral between people you love, somehow you end up standing in the middle, trying to keep everybody from falling apart. Well, it wears on you. It wears on a person. Not because you don't love them, but because your nervous system was never meant to stay in emergency mode forever. And honestly, one of the hardest parts is when you're trying to mediate between people that you love, trying to keep things from completely exploding, trying to help everybody to calm down, and somehow you end up being the one everybody blames. Not because you caused it, not because you started it, but because you happened to be standing in the middle, trying to hold everything together. And after a while, that starts messing with your head too. Because you're sitting there thinking, how did this suddenly become my responsibility? You didn't create the situation. You didn't start the spiral. You're just the person trying to keep it from getting worse. But somehow the person trying to help becomes the emotional dumping ground for everybody else's anger, fear, frustration, and pain. And that, my friends, that is exhausting. And the thing is, this isn't a constant chaos every single day, but it happens enough that it slowly starts wearing on you over time. Because when multiple people are struggling emotionally at the same time, or even shortly after each other, everybody's pain starts colliding with everybody else's pain. One person feels abandoned, another feels unheard, another feels overwhelmed. And meanwhile, you're standing in the middle trying to figure out who needs help the most in this exact moment. And no matter what you choose, somebody ends up hurt. Sometimes one child feels like you helped another more. Sometimes someone pulls away because they feel overlooked. Sometimes people are so deep in their own pain that they genuinely cannot see yours anymore. And honestly, I don't even think that makes them a bad person. It just means that everybody is emotionally overloaded. But when you're the one trying to hold all of that one at once, eventually your nervous system starts waving the white flag too. And that's kind of where I'm at. Not angry, not blaming everybody else, just emotionally exhausted to the point where your brain starts screaming, I can't carry one more thing. And sometimes you get so overwhelmed that your brain starts going, I want to move to Timbuktu where nobody knows me. I want to stick my head into the sand. I want to disappear for a week where nobody needs anything from me. That doesn't make you a bad parent. It makes you tired. Deep, tired. The kind where your soul just wants a quiet for a minute. And it doesn't even have to be just your kids. It's just everything coming together. But here's the part people don't talk about enough. Who is there for the parent when they're falling apart? Because a lot of us don't really know what to do with our own emotions. So we bottle it up. We smile. We function. We survive. We keep the family moving. Unless somebody catches us at the exact right moment and the dam finally breaks. Sorry, Amy. Sorry, Teresa. Sometimes my husband becomes my sounding board too. But honestly, a lot of times I just swallow it, literally. I stress eat. Or I clean to try to calm my brain down. But even that right now is getting harder with my hip problems. So my main emotional outlet right now is creating on YouTube, which is awesome. But here it is. There's also this horrible gray area people don't talk about enough with mental health. The system is often set up for, I'm suicidal, I have a plan, I have an intent. But what about, I feel hopeless, I can't cope, I'm spiraling, I feel trapped. I don't know how to fix my life anymore. What about helping people before they hit that wall? Because families can see it happening sometimes. And that's terrifying. You're trying to hold somebody above water while also realizing you are not a therapist, you're not a crisis center, not a hospital, or a miracle worker. You're just a human being who loves them. People see the struggling person, but they don't always see the person trying to hold the struggling person together. And I know this probably sounds like a rant, maybe it is. But honestly, talking about it probably helps a little. Not just me, but maybe other people too. Maybe even adult children who don't realize their parents are reaching a breaking point too. They're struggling as well. And honestly, every like, every comment, every person saying me too on this video will remind me that I'm not alone either. And I know I'm not. It's just easy to forget sometimes. Maybe this video will help somebody else feel less alone too. Maybe it helps parents finally admit I'm overwhelmed. Maybe it helps an adult child realize my parent is hurting too. And if this reaches even one person who feels isolated, exhausted, scared, hopeless, or completely emotionally tapped out, then maybe putting this out there was worth it.